Does truth exist, and what is truth? Let's start with the statement, truth does not exist. The problem with that statement is it is self-defeating, right? Because if I state the truth, that truth does not exist, I have just demonstrated that I actually believe that there is a truth, and that truth is that truth doesn't exist, right? And so the standard truth does not exist. It violates its own standard because it insists that a truth does exist, the truth that it wants to be true, right? I'm not going to come up with some kind of a fancy argument that's going to prove anything to you. The most convincing thing that I can possibly say to you is to examine your own life. Philosophically, intellectually, you might have come to the conclusion, or it might sound good to you, well, there is no truth. One person says one thing, another person says another thing. But how do you live your life? Do you live your life like that's true? Do you live your life like you can just never really know anything? Is that how you live your life? Or do you live your life like truth exists? And let's just consider a password. Okay, you probably have many online accounts, and you have one or more passwords that sort of restrict access to those accounts, including your bank account. And so when we're talking about accounts, we're talking about your voice, the way that people perceive you, and we're talking about cash money, right, that you use to buy stuff for yourself. And so we're not talking about trivial things. We're talking about something that you desire to have under lock and key, because if it's not under lock and key, then you don't have any control over it, and somebody else can presume to be you and take what you have, right? So let's consider a password. So your experience is that whenever you type in a password, and let's say that you forget to capitalize a letter, it doesn't work. But then when you do capitalize the letter, it does work. And it works pretty reliably. It's possible that there's errors or something on the server side or something, but really I suspect that your experience is that it really works exceedingly well. And so if there is no truth, then you really have no expectation that that password is going to protect anything. I can log on to your account and I can type in the password ABC123, and because truth doesn't exist, it's going to accept your password or my password or pretty much anything that anybody types in, right? Because we're saying the truth doesn't exist, right? There is no standard or basis of judging anything. And so based upon that, I can type in ABC123. I can get all your accounts. I can take all your money and I will transfer it to myself. And you have left yourself utterly exposed. But see, my point here is that you don't believe that, and your experience doesn't tell you that what I've just said is true, right? Because, again, you forget to capitalize a letter, or you type in your password wrong, and it doesn't let you get in. I try and log into your account and type in ABC123, and it says, who are you? Validation. We know the person's phone number associated with the account. We're going to send them a text or something, and we're going to validate that it is actually them trying to log into this account and not some crazy guy. This is just one example. You eat. Why do you eat? You eat because you believe that there's going to be a cause based upon you eating, that it's going to nourish your body and give you strength. You rest. You breathe. You do things all day, every day, because you have some level of belief that those things are causal, that they have causal power and that they result in something. If you didn't believe that it was possible for you breathing, for example, to result in you staying alive and your well-being, then you wouldn't do it. So, does truth exist? By your own experience, I suggest to you that yes, truth does exist.